Sonos macht es dir leicht, ein perfektes Soundsystem für all deine Lieblingsinhalte zu erstellen. Kombiniere mehrere Speaker und erlebe Sound in deinem gesamten Zuhause und draußen. Besuche sonos.com und leg los.
Hey, so good to be back. I don't know about you, but where I live, well, it's February now, so probably it's February too, if you listen to this episode right when it comes out. And there's snow, and I could finally stop crying and pitying myself for being the only place in Germany that doesn't have snow. Everybody else has snow, just not us. And I do catch myself oftentimes when I'm just complaining, moaning around, finding other reasons to feel bad, and it's just winter. And when the sun's missing, that goes on my mood, and I find myself not being a kind person in all the ways that I would like to see myself. So maybe you know this from your life, from your moments. I mean, everybody, we all have our moments, and it's absolutely fine to not be fine all the time, to not be kind and big-hearted and warm and empathetic and compassionate and all those things. It's absolutely fine to not be or live this all day long. So because we're human, I think it's really necessary to see this and to acknowledge that in every moment we're all doing our best. Like we all want to be people who love, and we all want to be loved by other people. So I think we're all doing our best. And yes, let's keep that in mind when I talk to you about making the world a better place or a worse place today. In the last weeks, I have these thoughts, or I read books, I listen to podcasts, I just reflect upon how I walk through this life, how I changed this world, and we all change the world. If you're not a leader in any kind, that doesn't mean you don't change the world every day. You change the world by every smile you give to another person, out of no reason. I think going through the world and just being kind without a reason, just being happy without a reason, is one of the most peaceful ways of existing. But it needs the peace within yourself to be able to radiate it around yourself. So if we don't have these moments, this knowledge about what gives us peace and happiness, then how are we gonna spread it into the world? There is this saying which I like a lot and which we use in coaching a lot, because you create your reality, and the sentence I mean is fake it till you make it. So many people come to me saying, I don't know how peace feels. I am so stressed out. I don't know what to do. I can't even remember how being happy without a reason feels like. And the best advice I can give about this is just fake it till you make it. Just from now, start being happy. Just do it. Find the things around you that make you happy. Look at your pet, look at your partner, look at your kids, and realize that this life is a miracle, that your family is a miracle, that we all exist out of 4 billion old stardust. I mean, and you don't believe in miracles? So find the miracles around you and recognize them and see them and feel them. If you do so, you start approaching life with a feeling of gratitude. And if this gratitude is around you all day, you will find more things that you're thankful for, that you appreciate, that you realize are there without you having to do anything for it. So this life is a miracle. How do we go through life making the world a worse place? Let's start by that, because I think it's all those small things that that make us not appreciate our surrounding, not appreciate the people around us, that make us nag about all the things that go wrong all day long. If the big critic inside you tells you all day that you're too stupid, you're not pretty enough, that everybody else can do better, that you're just not lovable, then you will transfer this feeling from your inside to your outside, and you will find yourself nagging about everything on the outside, when what you actually do is criticizing yourself for exactly the things you criticize other people for. So whenever you go through life and you find yourself judging is the one criteria that you know will not make you happy ever. Ever, ever, ever. So the one thing that will never give you the feeling of being enough, being so worthy of everything that you dream of, the one thing where all your unhappiness comes from, is judging and comparing. If you compare yourself to others, be it in your happiness or in your unhappiness. I mean, you know, all those people who kind of make contests all day long, who's the most unfortunate person in the room. You know those people. I mean, those people who seem to make contests of which one is the most unfortunate person in this room. They are everywhere. And are those happy people? Are those people that hold up the frequency on a good level, on a level of happiness, a level of love, of peace, of being calm? That's not the place where these people are. These people are in a place of lack and of not being enough. So whenever you find yourself judging things, check your next words. Whatever we say out of judgment, whatever we say out of comparison, is never going to make this world a better place. So what can you do about this? I mean, we're judging all day. That's what our mind does all day long. It's the only thing that our mind, that we use our mind all day long. So whenever you see something, your mind immediately goes to judging. Is this dangerous? Is this safe? Do I know this? Do I not know this? Am I interested in it? Am I not interested in it? Your mind does this all day long. So, how can you stop judging? Well, stop judging yourself. Or just, and how do you do that? Yeah, that's a really good question. Just start by realizing that you're doing it all day. When you find yourself in those moments, take another perspective. See yourself from above. Say, okay, look, it happened again. And be okay with it. Don't fight it. It's going to be bigger than you if you start fighting it. You're going to lose this fight. When we fight against ourselves, it's never a way of healing, of becoming better. So realize what's happening. and be kind to yourself. Don't judge yourself for judging. Don't be hard on yourself when you're hard on yourself. So how would things look like when you started to be kind to yourself? What would you say to yourself? Are you ever kind to yourself? Did you catch yourself doing this, practicing active kindness towards yourself? And this is a real game changer. So when you start being kind to yourself, you immediately start being kind to the world and leave the world a better place. One of these does not go without the others, and we cannot start in the outside. It always has to come from the inside in order to not be stressful. So you start within yourself. I know many of you don't like this answer because I give it all the time, and it just means we have to do the work. We have to check in with ourselves. We have to be willing to feel whatever there is in us and be willing to be okay with the person we are and start to not fight it anymore. So, whenever you find yourself saying something where you already know, subconsciously of course, where you already know, that has just triggered me and I'm going to answer it. So just use these 3 sifters because this is how you catch yourself when you're being unnecessarily unkind. So the first question, whatever you want to say, is it true? Well, if the answer is yes, okay. If the answer is no, already, just stop yourself. The second one is it necessary? Is it just your opinion? Is it going to hurt the person? Is it going to be rough on anybody else? Does he or she need to hear this, or is it just your urge to get your thoughts out of your head? Because that's not empathetic. That's being egocentric. So that's the second one. Is it necessary? Does this person need you or need to hear this? The question is not, do you need to say it? The question is always, does this person need to hear this? Is it going to help develop something? Is it going to solve something? Does this person need this solution? It's always a good question. And the third one would be, is it kind? And that's, for me, that's the most important one, because I just found myself last week in a discussion on Facebook. Social media is the best way to practice active kindness in this world. Seriously. There was this person that commented a picture of one of my teammates, and she makes art. So she lives in Sweden, and she makes she does jewelry, I think, and laces and bracelets and rings, I think, and she posted a picture of them. And one of her, she calls herself an old colleague, I don't know, but yeah, okay, they have known each other. And that lady posted under it, well, I'm gonna be honest now. Oh, that's like, for me that was okay. So she informs us that she is preparing an attack. And she just literally, through the words, tells you to brace yourself, because this is going to be hard on you. So I'm going to be honest now. I liked the art that you used to do much more. It was much better, and it was so much more you. And I hope you find the way back to yourself. And then do beautiful things again. And I was sitting there saying, wow, now that's impressive, huh? How judgy can you be? How can you tell someone around the corner? In Germany we would say through the flower. How can you tell someone in this way that they are wrong in the way they are, that they have developed in a wrong direction. And wow, that was so impressive and so unkind on any level. That I don't know, I lacked words in the beginning, and whenever that happens, I know my emotional wave is going to start, so I'm gonna hold back and tell myself, okay, I'm gonna comment on that later, because I didn't want this to stay like this there. So yeah, whenever you find yourself wanting to type something like this, of course you do have your right on your opinion, and if you really have to say it, write a short message. Don't comment this in public. And whenever you know that you're going to hurt a person with the things that you're about to say, maybe use these sifters. Maybe, I don't know, check out if what you're going to say is true, is necessary, and is kind. And already at the first one, this lady would have noticed that this is her truth. It's her opinion. It's her reality lens that she looks through. And, yeah. So in order to be a kinder person and leave the world a better place, just think about this. So, how can you actively go around and shine your light? Which is something I think is truly and deeply in every single one of us. We want to be good people. We want to be loving, and we want to be loved, because we're social beings, and we want to be with our groups, and we want to help. So, what I really like is the American way of complimenting people. Whenever you meet someone, you will find something nice about them. So in Germany, we don't do this at all. Complimenting people is always something special, and then usually it's not the in the superficial way that people tell us, "Oh, I love your skirt." We don't do that. That's maybe we're. I think it's a nice way to call us polite, because we're really not. We are distant. We are the opposite of close. We are the opposite of warm when we meet people we don't know. And oftentimes when we meet our families, it's exactly the same. So we don't have this closeness, this way of just shouting out what we like about somebody else. So this, for every German or every European maybe, or let's say Western European, the way that we were brought up doesn't teach us this. So I like to call this the game of 3 pearls. That you're supposed to spread 3 of these pearls a day, and 1 pearl is always a compliment, and it's an honest compliment, and it's always said in a way that really makes the other person feel seen. And whenever you do this, I mean, whenever you go and meet someone, there's always something that you like about them, be it their hair or something that they did or something that they are or something that just comes to your mind. Just go and spread those pearls, because people are going to be touched by it. It's gonna make that they are gonna remember it for weeks. And for you, it's just this one sentence, this one honest, really seeing a person, this one sentence. It changes the whole day of someone. So this is the game of the 3 pearls, and I practice it every day. It's so bad in Corona times. I can't do it as much as I like to, but yeah. And also the same goes for social media. When you meet people, when people, I don't know, are posting pictures of themselves or of their garden or whatever, you will always find something nice to say. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I think this comes from Thumper in Bambi. I think he says that, and I kept it in mind because I found it so good. If you've got nothing nice to say, Don't say anything at all. And whenever somebody comes to you and is being mean to you and is harassing you or something, whatever, if you kill them with kindness, that's the best way to find your own peace. You are becoming indestructible by this. So whenever somebody says, "Oh, I liked your hair better before," I always say, "Well, thank you for the comment. That's the nicest thing I can say about this." And I will immediately go to their profile and find something that I really like, something that they shared in a vulnerable way, or something I can appreciate, and I will write this comment. So I stop this vicious cycle and I turn it into a good cycle. These people are never going to do this again with me, and they will think about why they did this, and maybe they can reflect upon themselves what it is that made them write this comment. But that's not my job. My job is to answer hate with love. This is my biggest gift for the world that I developed in this last year, and I hope you can find a way for yourself to spread love and answer hate with love, because it's really the best and most peaceful way of living. In the movie Almost Famous, you probably all know it. It's a really good movie. I love this quote. I'm going to read it to you. I wrote it down because I can't keep it in my head. "The only currency in this bankrupt world is what you're sharing with someone when you're being uncool." So, being kind to the world and expecting kindness from this world means being vulnerable. It means being authentic. It means being you, because nobody else can be you as good as you. So what do you need to be fine with yourself? What do you need to accept what you've become? What do you need to start feeling everything that is in you and be okay with it and talk about it? And how often are you met when you're in this vulnerable space? Oh, there's going to be a lot of episodes about vulnerability, because I hate the word, but I love the meaning and I love living this. That's my biggest goal. Becoming more vulnerable every day is my guiding star. And that's quite something, believe me. So what was I gonna say? Yes, so I was saying, how often are you being met in an empathetic way? Empathy is the answer to everything. And I think in the next episode we're going to talk about the difference between empathy and sympathy, because one of them is really helpful, the other one is spreading shame. So, how many people do meet you with real empathy when you're at your lowest point? How many people just try to give you solutions immediately so they don't have to follow you into your dark place? The ones that are able to meet you with empathy are the ones that are keepers. They are really open to you, and they really want you, with all your mistakes, with all your smallness, with all your egos, with all your flaws, the things that you can't do, the things that you suck at doing. Those people don't love you despite this, but because of this. And those are the people that are good to be kept as the 5 people around you, because they are going to make you grow in a safe environment, not in the war zone. So, we've had almost 25 minutes. I want to stop here now. This is a topic that I could extend on, I think, a 2-hour talk. What you learned today is that you decide every day to make the world a better or a worse place, just by walking through it in a certain kind of way. I hope you can use my tips for your everyday life. I hope that I made you think a bit, and I'm so happy to have you here. Just click on subscribe. Maybe if you're on YouTube or if you're on iTunes, you can rate this podcast. I know it's just 4 episodes so far, but believe me, there's going to be a lot more. So I hope you have the best day of your life today. Take care. All the best. Bye bye.
Sonos macht es dir leicht, ein perfektes Soundsystem für all deine Lieblingsinhalte zu erstellen. Kombiniere mehrere Speaker und erlebe Sound in deinem gesamten Zuhause und draußen. Besuche sonos.com und leg los.